problem we've got with this is that Meghan has agreed to be Harry's wife, and then the press have torn her to pieces. And let's be really clear about what this is. Let's call it by its name. It's racism. She's a black woman, and she has been torn to pieces.
You can't.
She has been torn to pieces.
It's not racism.
It absolutely is.
We're the most tolerant, lovely country in Europe. Let's celebrate our women. It's not racism. It's so easy to throw the charge of racism at everybody, and it's really starting to get boring.
What worries me about your comment is you are a white privileged male who has no experience in this.
I mean,
I can't help what I am. I was born like this. It's an immutable characteristic. So to call me a white privileged male is to be racist. You're being racist.
You cannot dismiss.
Okay. I'm not taking a view either way. I'll just add in that Priti Patel, the Home Secretary, also took the view that it wasn't racism. I'm not making a judgment on that either way.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Royal Sussex Squad, your go-to source for real talk on Prince Harry, Meghan, and the relentless drama thrown their way. Today, we're diving into yet another fiery debate about how the media has treated Meghan. It's a story that exposes not just the bias, but the sheer hypocrisy that plays out in full view. If you believe in standing up for what's right, hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. So let's talk about what happened on BBC's Question Time. A university lecturer, an expert on race and ethnicity, called out the media for its systematic, racially charged attacks against Meghan. And guess who just couldn't handle the truth? Laurence Fox, the same guy who's been crying about being cancelled every time he's held accountable for his words. He immediately shut her down, dismissing her arguments like they were nothing. But here's the thing. When people from marginalised backgrounds talk about their lived experiences, privileged individuals like Fox think they have the right to tell them what is or isn't racism. Newsflash. If you've never faced racial bias, you don't get to decide what counts as discrimination. The audience member, clearly fed up, pointed out exactly what we've been saying for years. Meghan was torn apart by the press for simply existing. They scrutinised her every move, attacked her for doing things that other royals were praised for, and weaponised outdated narratives to paint her as the villain. It wasn't just unconscious bias, it was a deliberate, targeted campaign to bring her down. Let's not forget, this is the same British media that went out of its way to celebrate Kate for cradling her baby bump, but called Meghan attention-seeking for doing the exact same thing. The same press that labelled her a diva for requesting privacy, but had no issue when William and Kate made similar demands. The double standard is blatant, and people are finally calling it out. Now back to Laurence Fox. His dismissive response wasn't just disrespectful, it was a clear example of the deeper issue at play. When privileged people refuse to acknowledge racism, they enable it. And let's not forget that this isn't just about one debate, it's about a whole system that allows this kind of discrimination to continue unchecked. Even when Meghan herself spoke about how damaging the media's treatment was, what happened? Instead of support, she was gaslit. They told her she was exaggerating, that she was too sensitive, that she should just ignore it. Imagine being harassed by the world's press and then being told it's all in your head. That's what Meghan endured. And the worst part, public figures like Home Secretary Priti Patel, who should be standing against discrimination, have downplayed Meghan's experiences, claiming they don't count as racism. It's the same old tactic: deny, deflect, and hope people forget. But we won't forget. The relentless racism Meghan Markle faced from the British media and public had a devastating impact on her mental health, pushing her to a breaking point. From the moment her relationship with Prince Harry became public, she was subjected to racist undertones in headlines, dog whistle commentary, and outright vitriol that questioned her place in the royal family. The constant attacks, including comparisons to criminals, offensive caricatures, and scrutiny over her every move, created an unbearable environment. In her Oprah interview, Meghan bravely revealed that the hostility became so overwhelming that she struggled with suicidal thoughts, yet the royal institution offered no support. The refusal to acknowledge the racial abuse she endured only deepened her isolation, proving that systemic racism is not just about words, it has real life-altering consequences. Instead of being protected, she was vilified, and her experiences were dismissed, highlighting the deep-rooted racism that continues to pervade British society and media. Her resilience in speaking out has not only exposed these harsh realities, but has also given strength to countless others facing similar struggles. Meghan and Harry have shown resilience despite everything thrown at them. Instead of backing down, they've used their platform to champion causes that actually matter: mental health, racial justice, and humanitarian efforts. They've continued to rise above the negativity, proving that no amount of hate can silence them. Right-wing media figures like Piers Morgan, Dan Wootton, and their counterparts have turned Meghan Markle into their favourite punching bag, using her name to generate outrage, clicks, and headlines, while hypocritically claiming to have moved on. Piers Morgan, for instance, has made a career out of relentlessly attacking Meghan, from walking off Good Morning Britain in a tantrum over her Oprah interview to constantly bashing her on his social media and TV shows. Despite claiming she is irrelevant, he continues to bring her up at every opportunity, exposing his deep-seated obsession. Dan Wootton, another vocal critic, has used his platform to push a smear campaign against Meghan, often distorting facts to fit a right-wing narrative that portrays her as manipulative and destructive. These pundits position themselves as defenders of free speech, yet they throw tantrums when called out for their blatant hypocrisy and relentless bullying. The fact that they dedicate so much energy to attacking Meghan while ignoring real issues in the UK, such as political scandals and economic struggles, speaks volumes about their true intentions. They thrive on outrage and division, using Meghan as an easy target to fuel their toxic agenda. The British media has long been criticised for its biased and often racist treatment of women of colour, and Meghan Markle's experience is just the latest chapter in a long history of prejudice. Historically, the British press has upheld a rigid standard of who belongs in the royal family, treating outsiders, especially women of colour, with suspicion and hostility. While Princess Diana faced immense scrutiny, much of it stemmed from her challenge to royal traditions rather than her identity. In contrast, Kate Middleton, a white woman from a middle-class background, was initially critiqued for her commoner status but was eventually embraced as the ideal royal wife. Meghan, however, was met with relentless racism from the start, with tabloids using coded language and outright slurs to paint her as difficult, aggressive, and unworthy of royal status. This pattern mirrors the treatment of other women of colour in British society, where they are often judged more harshly than their white counterparts. The same media outlets that once praised Kate for cradling her baby bump labelled Meghan as attention-seeking for doing the exact same thing. From exoticized headlines to outright dog whistles, the press played a key role in dehumanizing Meghan, proving that racism within British media is not new. It is deeply ingrained and strategically weaponized against those who challenge the status quo. The treatment of Meghan Markle has exposed something deeper than royal drama. It's revealed the media's willingness to destroy anyone who doesn't fit their mould. But here at Royal Sussex Squad, we stand for truth and fairness. If you believe in real, unbiased storytelling, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. And if you want to support the channel, drop a super thanks. Every contribution helps us keep the truth alive. Until next time, stay loud, stay proud, and keep calling out the hypocrisy. See you in the next one.